Yo, how are we doing, everybody? So today, I figured it would be fun to see if I can solo the first dungeon in Dawntrail. So you cannot do this unsynced, as this is currently, current content. So I'm doing this at level 92. So most of the fights, like the trash fights, are not a big deal. The one exclusion would be these two guys right here, as I've noticed they do a lot of damage. Like that horrid horn attack they do, it's just a random attack. There's no like notification, I guess. And yeah, it just hits really hard. So if I'm not using my mitigation, just kind of rotating through it, I just kind of take too much damage and it's not really sustainable. So yeah, my first go at this, I do end up dying here, unfortunately, because I just wasn't quite prepared for how much damage I was going to be taking. But yeah, that's really just for all the trash pulls. It's really just this fight that is difficult, which I really thought wouldn't be the case because it's like other groups have more enemies. But yeah, these two guys just hit really hard. But as long as I switch between my mitigation, I can get at least one down. And then yeah, once that one's down, that is the fight over. Because yeah, obviously if I can take two, I can take one. Now for the first boss fight, this is actually, what would I say? Yeah, I guess this is probably the hardest boss. Which is to say that I don't think any of the bosses in this dungeon are like really that difficult. Because like the main thing with this boss is that there's just this one mechanic it does where there's like a bunch of random things that go all over the arena. And technically it's all avoidable damage. But you know, if I'm bad, I can like still get hit. But as far as the attacks go, so much of it is just like avoidable. Like I think there's, you know, every now and then they'll do damage I like literally can't avoid, but I have so much mitigation, it's really not that big a deal. Like if anything, it's really the auto attacks I'm getting hit by like while all this stuff is falling down that's like more of an issue. And obviously if you combine the two, if I did get hit by something and then I'm also getting auto attacked, because that'll be with damage vulnerability, so that would be problematic. But yeah, like I've practiced this fight a lot because I've also done this dungeon with 4 DPS, like as in like no tanks, no healers, and so I had to know the fight to be able to get through, as it's very difficult to do that when you can't just mitigate everything. I was curious, I wasn't sure how this attack would work, but yeah, the Song of Panuti or whatever that is, I figured it would summon all of them still, but no, it looks like when there's only one person in the dungeon, there will only be one enemy that gets spawned by the song. So that was pretty nice. Right here, I was trying to focus my damage on the boss instead of like the ad, and I'm not entirely sure if that's the right way to go about it, because yeah, you can see it's going to use a second attack again. So yeah, I do need to be a bit more careful with that. I think the next few times, because I have to do it a bunch of times, I try to use Requisite, or however you pronounce that, like the giant Paladin swords, because they really do help me kill the ads faster. But yeah, again, I'm going to shorten this video. I don't want to show the entire fight. I will have that video uploaded on my Patreon if you're interested in checking that out. But yeah, no, we don't need to see me just fighting these monsters for 500 years. So this group right here, just a random trash pool. We got the I don't know, the Widowmaker and these two bats. Obviously the Widowmaker does the most damage. The bats are really not an issue at all. So this is very similar to the previous trash fights where it's like, yeah, as long as I just mitigate, it's not a problem. And then going on to the next trash pool, we have those two little, I don't even know what those things are, like those doblins, I guess, and the treant. So I really like fighting these guys compared to the last, because yeah, these three, they all use these avoidable AEs, so I continuously can just walk out of them, and while they're casting, they're not auto attacking me, so it's really easy to do. Now right here we have the clots. The clots, they all transform into party members. I'm the only person in this party. It is a party of one, so everybody is going to be me. And yeah, they do no damage, none. Even like aside from the fact that like, yeah, there's those occasional AEs, like even if they never did the AEs and just auto attack me the full time, which generally does more damage because you'll just walk out of the AE, like no, they did nothing. So not a big deal, not concerned about those guys. Let's just move on to the boss here, because we've already seen what we need to see with the random trash. So Drowsy, I wasn't sure going in how tough this would be, because doing these fights, obviously it takes me a long time because it's just me by myself. This is not an efficient way to do dungeons. Obviously having DPS to help you out makes things a lot easier. Having the healer can bail you out if you're making mistakes, but this is a challenge run. I just want to see if I can do it. And yeah, no, like because it takes me so long, the bosses, like all the bosses in dungeons, essentially they have like patterns, right? And so they have like the opening pattern they'll do, and then once they've like used all of their mechanics, they have like a second pattern that doesn't always go through all the mechanics, but is like, I guess whatever the devs decided would be good for people that are, kind of stretching out the fight to just repeat whatever mechanics. And so yeah, this guy, he repeats his tank buster a lot, but honestly, I can just take the tank buster. Like I don't even need the mitigate. That is a lot of damage though, so I will generally just use like once I get more accustomed to the fight, because the first time I do use like a real tank hard mitigation. But yeah, later I'm just going to use Holy Sheltron, my like soft mitigation. That's good enough. I was worried about like all these enemies that spawn. I wasn't sure if I would be able to kill everything and like what the damage would be like if I couldn't kill them too fast. But yeah, just Confiteor. The Confiteor combo knocks out almost all of them. It did more than enough damage, which is very interesting to me. Like I've always seen them die really fast when I'm like in a full party. I just didn't realize like how weak they were. Like they're much weaker compared to like the trash pool I had just done previously. They have much less health. But yeah, like the repeating loop for this boss is so easy. It's just avoid, and then he'll do the tank buster. And again, yeah, I can do the tank buster with just Holy Sheltron. So that boss, super duper easy, way easier than the first one. And then yeah, I skipped through all the trash. We're just gonna move straight to the third boss. I mean, I didn't literally, it's just for this video. But yeah, like it's more the same. As long as I mitigate the trash, it's not a problem. So this boss here, I didn't imagine it would be too bad. I was more concerned about time. Because again, this is just me, right? And technically there's a limit of how long you can be in a dungeon, so I wasn't sure if I'd be able to beat all 3 bosses in the dungeon fast enough. I did mess up here and there. Like I did die to that first, or not the first trash pull, but like the second pull with those 2 enemies. So that did kind of bite into some time. But yeah, I have 24 minutes left essentially. Like how much time I have left on my food signifies how much time I have left in this dungeon, I believe, if I remember right. And yeah, this boss, as you can see, it's like avoid. So much of this damage I can just avoid, which really is like how this game is designed overall. Like there's so much that as long as like you're paying attention to what the mechanics are, you're gonna have a good time. Like you can just move out of the way and you don't really need to like depend on other people to help you, which is something I really enjoy. The fact that this game has so much content that can be soloed, because yeah, not all games are like that. And so yeah, this tank buster, I was scared because he like powers up, I guess, when he eats those enemies. So I did use like Rampart and Holy Sheltron, but going by the damage, it looks like I probably could have just took it raw, or at least just done the Holy Sheltron and not worried about using Rampart. Because it's like, essentially, I mean, like, it's good to use mitigation because obviously you're taking less damage. But when I am soloing, generally my mindset is if I don't have to mitigate, I don't want to, because it's like I might have to look out for something later, or maybe like auto attacks do so much damage that I just need to mitigate the auto attacks. But in this dungeon, at least, no, this has not been the case. In these bosses, it hasn't been the case. The auto attacks don't do enough damage. Even like the unavoidable like thunder and stuff and raid wides, none of that's doing too much damage. The main thing I was scared about for this boss was just the tornado, because I was really bad at dodging it the first time I did this dungeon. but I spend so much time here, I ended up getting pretty good at it. Like, I did make a couple mistakes. Like, you don't see the vulnerability here because it wore off ages ago. But yeah, no, that is the first dungeon. It can indeed be soloed. I don't think I needed to be Paladin to do it, but yeah, that was super fun. I really enjoyed doing this. If you guys are interested in this type of content, I would like to make more videos of soloing different like content in Dawntrail. But yeah, either way, that'll be me. Thanks for checking me out. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.